Good evening, y'all. Happy Sunday. How you doing, Matt?
I'm here. I got coffee. I got shit
That's
to
fair.
do.
This stream not brought to you by Wild Cherry Pepsi in a tall boy can, but it's going to help.
I already had a Mountain Dew. Does that count?
Very nice. Very nice.
Now I have coffee to wash that down.
Hope everyone's doing well. Vince is here, ready and waiting. Thanks, buddy. Very
Miranda
cool.
came in fourth. Pathetic. Pathetic. What are you busy with, like babies? My goodness.
So what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be me and Matt both got brand new CO2 Galvos, and actually a lot of us did. A lot of people happened to order them at the same time, and mine was basically sent for review from Ocean Laser. It's a 60-watt Davi tube. I believe Matt got the same config, right?
Basically, a couple of minor differences, but as far as like the actual hardware inside of it, yes.
Yeah. So I'm starting out with the 110 lens tonight. Matt, are you on the same, or are you on a bigger lens? Same lens?
Yep. I figure I'll learn. By the way, for those of you who are joining, wondering like what this is, and you're confused by it, I have never had to run a timing before, ever. So that's why Kai was like, well, I'm about to do it for the CO2, and I was like, that would be awesome. So there you go.
Very nice, very nice. So it's a little bit of a process, and I mean I've done a couple of them now for my personal lasers, and I've helped other people, but I still refer back to Alex's timing guide video, timing and delay video. So tonight will be the first time where I'm just working off of notes in memory. So we're going to see how it goes. I may have to pull up the video and we'll group watch it together or something to see if I missed any steps if we need to. But yeah, so if you're following along at home, all you need is I'm ideally some metal business cards. Some cheap ones are perfect for this because you're going to be using them up, and they don't need to be great for this purpose. The thin ones are great. And the reason why we're using metal business cards is because they don't ablate, and you're just taking the coating off with a CO2. It doesn't burn into the metal. And even for fiber and UV, where it does kind of get into the surface, it's still ideal because it doesn't burn out so much. So you're getting a very accurate provided line from the laser, showing you where it's marking and where the lines are stopping and starting, which is kind of the point of timing and delays. So we're going to get started with that, and then we'll loop back to some questions after we get through some of the steps. So let me pull up Discord here. Light burn. So let's share screen here. All right, so light burn. So if you guys haven't added a device before, first thing you're going to want to do is turn on the laser. And
that is. Holy shit.
Is it picking up bad?
Oh yeah.
Is that any better?
Better. So one of the things that that's so loud, holy shit. One of the things that Kyle, like, it's like you've got a fucking Chinook behind you. That's better. So one of the things Kyle and I were talking about, yeah, we were talking about before the broadcast is literally, yeah, there you go. Is this a hair dryer? Right. So this is an industrial machine. Like, this is not like something that you buy to put next to your kid's bedroom in the spare bedroom. This thing is so fucking loud. It's got, I think, 5 fans that are just keeping it cool. Yeah, so emergency stop. They have 800,000 cubic feet per minute fans. So yeah, it's literally it's what you see like in an industrial warehouse where it's
Yeah.
zapping stuff out in seconds. So you
So-
need to be ready for that.
I'm going to turn the gain down on my mic. Am I still loud enough while the laser is hopefully quieter?
You're a loud guy. Just use your sultry voice.
So, just to kind of catch you guys up with the startup process here. So I'm importing the configuration. So when you're importing an EasyCAD config into Lightburn, you want to make sure you're picking Mark Config 7, because any other number is going to basically equate to default values, and it's not really going to provide you. That's like what you're going to end up with when your EasyCAD is open but not connected to the laser. It's not going to be accurate values, and it's not going to be set up how you'd expect. So make sure you're going for Mark Config 7. Import that. You'll see that the values are here. We're going to go next. X and Y axis are accurate. And we're going to label it so that we know what it is. And that's the quick and the dirty of it.
I named mine Thick Bitch. Just so everybody knows. 2 C's, double thick.
In all fairness, CO2 Galvos have massive dot sizes. So
don't dot shame them.
Not shaming them. They are what they are. So here we have our, little workspace here. And for running timing, we need a box. And that box size is going to be 20 millimeters wide, and let's call it 8 millimeters high. Okay. And the reason why I'm going with that is so that we can get multiple test grids for timing onto a single card without wasting too much of it. You can make it even smaller. Ooh, I like that. 20. So you can make it smaller than that. It's not that critical. So another thing we need to do here, we need to add a sublayer. So the reason why is Lightburn doesn't add a contour line like EasyCAD does, and we need that contour line. So second layer line, or sublayer line, I should say. So that's the hard part. Now we're going to go into device settings on the bottom right. Okay. We see the jump settings default and delay default. So this is where we're gonna be setting kind of our timings for what we need. So going by Alex's guide here, we're gonna be setting these all to 500. Jump limit of 10 millimeters. Jump distance limit of 10 millimeters. And that's kind of where we're going to be starting out.
All right, so just real quick, 500.
I'll let you get caught up to me here.
500. Yeah, I was changing the screen so everybody could see it. There. And then 10.
How dare you? No, thank you.
I dare, bro. I double dog dare. All right. Oh, see, yours is different than mine. How interesting.
Mine is a beta version, and I believe I went backwards in version, so visually this is probably going to be a little different, to be honest.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that had a problem like that.
That happens.
He was inverted too.
Okay. So, so we're going to be starting with laser on TC. Okay. So this value is essentially like if your contour line is here, right, following on my hand, and you expect the laser to start on the contour line, and it's instead starting over here, you need to adjust your start TC because it's starting too late. Okay. So I'm just going to test mine the way it is because I don't really want to go through like a lot of values. But we're going to see where it's at. Is yours at the same value, minus 300?
Mine is set to laser on TC 100. That whole column is 100 straight down. So
Okay.
100. So
Well,
don't mess with it. Just see what happens.
Yeah, send it.
Woo, let's go.
Yeah, our sound's going to be a little, I should say our voices are going to be a little funny for this stream. Just an apology now.
I'm going to sound
These machines
beautiful.
are loud. If you missed the first couple minutes where we were saying that. So there's several industrial fans in these machines. They're like at least twice as loud as like your typical fiber laser. Yes, you really need a scope for this. And I do have a scope. Matt, you got your scope handy?
Oh my god. No one told me that I needed a scope. Oh wait. Yeah, I've got a scope.
Yeah, boy. All right.
I promise this is a scope. Doesn't it?
Yeah. Mr. Emergency Stop, Alex the man has confirmed, is reminding us. So again, if you're following along at home, it is preferential that you have a scope so that you can see what you're doing under the laser. If you're ballparking this, it's better than nothing visually. If you're zooming in with your camera phone, it's not going to be the best results. So spend $30 on just a digital microscope. We have links on the buying guide. It's definitely a good investment, especially if you ever get multiple lenses, if you plan on having multiple lasers. So, yes. All right, let's get to it. So, oh yeah, I didn't really talk about settings. Interval value on no, that's not gonna work. So scan angle 0, no crosshatch, and we want a line interval. So CO2 Galvos, again, massive dot size. We're gonna be looking at like a 2 millimeter interval, just because we really want to see the individual lines. We don't want to be messing around. So this is going to give us a lot of space for bleed out and dot size. So that's what I suggest. Same on anything else. And maybe 2000 speed. I don't really have a baseline for this because this is literally the first time I've turned my machine on, other than to make sure it powered on. I haven't done anything with it. I saved it just for you all. So I'll do same settings for that, and we can...
I need a multi-layer hatch is what you're telling me?
Yes. So first layer is a fill layer.
Okay.
Ooh. I'll leave it up so you can see it. Maybe I can make it a little bit bigger so you can see it better. No, not really. I guess I could, but can you see it okay?
Yeah, so first one, just read it out to me. 2000.
I'm starting with 2000 speed because I don't have a baseline for what power is going to look like. 30 max power, 25 frequency, because that's our max frequency on these tubes, I believe. And line interval of 2 millimeters. Big boy.
Yeah.
Scan angle of 0. 1 pass. And 2000 speed, 30 power, 25 frequency on the line layer.
Oh, God.
It is alive.
Right? Let's see. Okay, so go back to 1.
Layer 1.
Yeah, see, this is what it's like, by the way, to have someone like...
Don't use bidirectional.
Okay, 2000.
The beauty of not using bidirectional is it tells you your start and your end TC. Not your end, your start and your off. So.
No bidirectional. Crosshatch 0.
Mm-hmm.
0.7. That is so much. Oh, crap. All right. I think we're good here.
Your Gucci.
Line 2 or the second thing was what?
For line 2, same settings. 2000 speed, 30 power, 25 frequency, fill mode or line mode, not fill mode.
Yep. Number passes 1.
Yep.
And okay. Okay.
Yep. So we'll just feel it out, see if it works. Make sure you're in focus.
Yep. I did that before we started.
Well, you're far more prepared than me. So, I'm just going to turn around and let me switch cameras. So,
by the way, while he's doing that, a couple of things for you guys to understand about these machines. It's like a 200-pound machine. Like the box that it came in, the actual crate, was 70 kilograms. So 2.2 times 70 would be like 150 pounds. And then like these actually come with motorized Z's. So anybody who's wondering, like all of mine have the manual Z. See, even this guy. So that one's got it, and then this guy's got it. And then unfortunately, I can't get the camera to see this little guy.
That little guy?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that little guy. And then, like Alex is saying, the microscope review. So this one literally is, I think it was $35 maybe. So pretty good. It lets you see all kinds of stuff. So like this is a picture of my kids on a metal business card as they were walking down a path. And just to show you guys real fast, I'm sure most of you know what these look like, but just to show you what $35 can get you. So this actually lets you zoom in to the actual like dots and lines, and so you can actually see with pretty good consistency what those lines look like and the dots and lines together. So pretty cool. And then it lets you make choices and decisions about what you need to do to make that better for the next one. And I think this one was a little washed out, and you can kind of see why now. Those really fat dots there. So there you go.
Yes.
$30, $35.
Excellent. So, so Alex was nice enough to go ahead and share one of the review videos he did. Almost 2 years ago now, I think, on two of the digital microscopes that can connect up to the computer. If you guys need one, in chat. So I'm all focused up. You're ready to go?
Yep, hit it.
I guess we'll hit it together. Oh my god, that was so fast. And
like I literally didn't even know that it did it.
Yeah, it was fast. And I got my laser cam here set up as well, so I can share on screen. I think I'll do it this way. Yeah. Ooh, we gotta bring that in.
You can't even see it. There you go, right there. See, little guys.
It's so blurry.
All right, see mine.
I mean, I know we're not there yet, but you can tell my polygon is way off because I mean that's a bevel, that's not a corner. All right, but anyways, just below that, you can see my little matchstick there. So it's kind of hanging out a little too long there. So I need to increase that value to shift my start further into the line. Okay. How you doing over there?
Yeah, you can see that I've got some issues. My corners don't work.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can see that with you can see that with your blind eye too. I mean, this one. Let me put it back to where you can see. So 4K camera, like when the light reflects on it just right, you can actually see the corners in that right there, like right here on this top corner.
Oh, there you go. In the glare and the light, perfect.
Yeah, they don't even connect.
So you need to bring your value. You need to bring your line to the left. So you need to decrease your value, even if it goes negative. So where are you at now?
My start is at 100, I believe I was. So let me go look. Device settings. And by the way, I'll do that real fast. I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
Share screen. This guy. There you go.
Gotcha.
So basically, this is where we go to your device settings.
Device settings.
Laser on, right? What's wild though is it's only at the top. So, what should I do? What do you think?
I would drop it. Let's go like negative 200.
All right.
So we're dropping it by 300. All right.
Yep.
So line her up next to the last one and run yours again. And I will share mine here. So this is mine now. So because, again, here, let me... mine was like matchsticked. So let's switch back to here. So you can kind of see here that it's hanging out too long at the start. So it's burning out beyond the contour line. That's what we're looking at here. So we need to increase the start time so that it moves a little faster. So I'm going to say, let's go from negative 300 to negative 250 and see if that does what we want. So we're going to run it again. It's a nice, fast process. All right, so here's our first one. There's the top of the card. First one, second one. So it kind of reduced those matchsticks a little bit, but not enough for me. So I need to go a little more positive on mine again. Let's go negative 150. What are you doing, Matt?
I'll just show you real fast. So let's see. Switching between cameras is fun. I need to get ODS like you were telling me. Okay. So basically, let's see. You can see that's so great. Oh my god. This is like drunk. This is like drunk coloring.
It's hard to orient it on the card, I know.
There you go. So still not great, right?
That's the one you just ran?
Yeah.
And that didn't change at all?
I think it changed it some, just not a ton.
Okay. As long as you're seeing change, that's good. Sometimes, another tip for anybody following along at home here. So sometimes what can happen, is that when you make changes in Lightburn, I've seen this happen in not the beta version. I'm running the beta version, so what you're seeing with me your mileage may vary. But I've helped others where even without it being the beta copy of Lightburn, one of the standard release updates, that can, when you first add a machine and you start making changes to the configuration that you've imported, it doesn't always take effect until you restart the software. So if you're making massive changes and seeing nothing change, turn off your laser, close Lightburn, and restart both. It makes an enormous difference. Let me answer a couple quick questions while we're on that point. Marking on paperboard. No, these are on metal business cards. Emma B. Wood, what wattage are these units? These are 60 watt CO2 Galvo units. You picked up a 100 watt MOPA fiber 3D unit recently, hoping to learn it soon. So you're okay. You're on EasyCAD 3, but you need a key. Yeah. Well, so that's the thing with EasyCAD 3. You need a key. You need actually a dongle, which is like a physical security key to unlock your software and activate it. You only get 5 activations with EasyCAD 3, and yeah. Alex said matchsticks can also be a result of first pulse killer being needed. So valid point. Thank you, Alex.
So we've got to turn it on.
We'll get there. Okay. We want to get it into the ballpark at least.
See, what's weird is like if you look at mine. So mine, everything's fine except that one little corner. Everything else is spot on.
Don't worry about the corner. We're looking at the lines in the middle, basically.
Oh, those look good then. Then in that case, let me go back and
top of the contour line now. Yeah. So I'll show you on. Oh, I can do it with my camera up too. So we're not looking at. Hold on. So in Lightburn, your angle is going to and if you have cut optimization or cut path optimization on, it's going to change your starting corner. So you see in my case, mine's on the far right. Matt, yours is on the left, right? Top left?
Correct.
Bottom left? Yeah. So mine's on the top right. So that can be influenced by the cut path being optimized or by the angle, the hatch angle. So when you see this, don't be afraid by that. That's literally the top right corner of the second test box I did. The fact that they're not meeting is okay, but that's the reason why you want to be looking at the center lines.
This is a lot straighter. If you look at that, are they supposed to be contouring that way or should they be straight? See like where the lines go? I'm betting that's because of polygon, probably. It shouldn't be doing that. Got it.
But that's okay. We'll get there. Part of that is also because the laser may think it's done and it's not done. Yeah, it's moving prior to it being ready to move to the next cut. But Alex made a good point in chat too. With EasyCAD, generally it's going to default to the bottom left when you have everything set the same way. And that's just because of the dynamic way that it doesn't really optimize cuts. It just uses the default settings. So if you're following along in EasyCAD, that big ol' opening right there, that would be on the bottom left. For me, it's on the top right. For Matt, it's on the top left. So just in case you run into that, that's a little discrepancy, and that's the reason why. So I'm kind of happy at this point. This isn't the way it's probably going to look once we start messing with first pulse killer, but I can fine tune that a little bit more when we get there. I think I was sharing the wrong one. There we go. That's the most recent one. So you can kind of tell that the overlap is much tighter now on the beginning of that dot leading onto the contour line. How you looking, Mr. Matt?
Well, I mean, based off what you saw, what should I do next? Be the boss.
Can you show me one more time? Sorry.
Actually, I just realized I found the little holder. What's funny is I almost threw. So, guys, I highly suggest you buy the little holder that this comes with, just so that you can keep it all in the same spot. Just my thought. So
Mine has like a little platform under it. It's very similar to yours. It's got a little like scrolly bar thing that raises it and lowers it.
Move the card around.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's focus it a little bit here. So this needs to focus a little better. Oh my god. I'm not as good at Kyle as on the...
Is this the starting side or the ending side of the line?
This is where it ends.
Okay, we need to see the start side.
Okay, start side. There you go. It's got that little curvature.
They all kind of have that, don't they?
Yep.
Oh, you know what? What's your hatch angle? Is it 0?
Yes. Scan angle 0. Yep. Same thing you had. Frequency 25, power 3.
Unidirectional on the hatch.
Yes.
And
then I did
shapes at once.
fill all shapes at once. Yep.
Well, it's one shape, so I guess that wouldn't matter. But
right.
All right, let's mess with polygon's going to come after end. We'll get there.
Okay.
So, all right, laser off TC. So let's look at the right-hand side. So this is, again, the top right corner. And as you go down, these are my hatch lines. And you can see there's a massive hole there, right? So do you have the same hole I do, Matt? That is the ending side on the right.
No.
Yours is closed up?
Yeah. It's just got that weird curve. That's it.
Okay. Maybe we are going to have to mess with polygon for you before we can really mess with it. If you open your device settings, what are your polygon set to?
Device settings.
Mm-hmm.
Polygon. Let's see. Is that skew? Trapezoid?
Bottom right. Polygon
Bottom
TC. Right. Delayed
Polygon
defaults.
TC. I'm not smart. See, no, guys, this is why it's awesome. Yeah, Alex Campbell said Polygon 10. It's 100 also. Yeah, tell me TCs and my brain will remember that we're over in the right corner.
No, you're good. So that is what you heard, Miranda. Oh, you're good, Alex. So, all right. So let's see. Polygon. Trying to remember if increasing or decreasing.
Let's see what happens. Fuck it.
Decreasing removes match sticking, which means we need to increase it to avoid the rounding, I believe.
All right, I'm going to go up to 300. So I'm at 100, going up to 300. All right. Yeah. Let's go nuts. Let's see if we can fill that hole, Kyle.
Alex, that's dirty. I'm not reading that. All right, so I'm going to try 250 on Polygon. Actually, wait a minute.
2 boys, 1 Galvo. Lots of shit.
Let me look at my...
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of got to... So I'm going to go 250.
250?
We're kind of going out of order here. YOLO. All right.
You only line once.
EmergencyStop.net.
Oh shit! Oh no! Oh no! What is that? What happened there now? Fuck me.
What? What?
Now you don't even need the thing to see it. Look at that. Now I got a guy shooting off stray pube.
Oh boy. All right, so that is a pretty decent change from bottom to top here. That's the old one. That's the new one. So we need to increase that a little bit more.
All right, let's see what we got here. I really have to get better at using this thing.
Ah, you're good.
Okay, so that's there.
So I'm going to 350. All right, we're getting into the little more square. That's good.
Yeah, you see this guy now? This guy just shot out like crazy.
Holy.
Yeah, man.
What's going on there?
I don't know. Looks like a little Zorro move. Okay.
When you're framing, is your red light staying consistent?
Yeah. Just sitting there. I'm just going to start playing whack-a-mole.
All right, give me 1 sec. I'm going to finish up this because I can't. If I stop halfway through doing one thing, I'm not going to know what I'm doing anymore. So if we do frame and close this, I increased mine by another 50 here. Try and square up that edge. It's getting better. So that's an old one next to the most recent test. It's a much nicer, harder corner, I should say. But it's a little difficult because, again, you're dealing with such a large dot size. It's going to be a little roundy no matter what, I think. But we'll get there. All right. Matt, show me what you're working with.
So this is the newest one.
Yep.
Let's see. So, where'd it go? I'm the worst at this. Ugh. Okay. I really need to get one that can see further away. Let's see. I think that's my problem. I'm trying to zoom in too much. There you go.
All right.
So I actually went, instead of down, I went back to, so I was at 100. I did the 300 and had the things like skew out really far. And now I think that's better.
Well, polygon is going to affect your corners, right? So
Yeah.
we're still dealing with a really rounded corner. So that polygon has to come up. But I don't
notice how that top one is closer now? I actually went down to 0. So instead of at 100, I'm at 0. And that corner
Are you talking about the middle line or the one on the top right?
Top left. See, now actually, Jesus Christ, what a nightmare. Okay. All right. There we go.
Okay, so we want to see any other corner but that one, because that one's not going to be controlled by polygon.
So that one, but now that I changed polygon, you see that open space?
Yeah.
So yikes. So that wasn't there before.
What's your
Still
box
soft.
size? Is it
20 by 8. Yeah, 20 by 8.
Okay.
Yeah, so I still have soft rounded corners, and it's definitely not rounded corners on the actual.
I'm gonna pull up your Lightburn screen.
Okay.
And can you double click on your cut layer?
So I got 2030, 2.0,
Yep.
unidirectional, frequency 25, flood fills on.
Turn that off. Yep.
Ah, there you go.
It's probably messing you up. All right, so
Okay.
run it. Confirm that for me. Hit OK.
Yep, that's okay. Good.
And let's run a fresh one.
All right, so back everything to 100. It's gonna...
Just run it the way it is, and we'll adjust as needed.
All right, I'm gonna go back to the only thing we had changed to the top level.
Okay.
So basically, there you go. Like we haven't messed with the polygon TC at all.
Yep.
See, guys, that's why it's important to pay attention and not be this guy in class.
No, you're fine. It's all about a learning experience. I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come across that, and they're going to be like, why the hell is this doing this?
Well, the good news is now I got matchsticks galore.
Well, that's what we're going to fix. So, all right. We got to switch. Let me remove that. There we go. All right. So, what we're looking for on polygon is going to be on your top right there.
So top right is this guy. Now,
but you're upside down for us then.
Yeah. So then let me mirror my camera.
Other corner then.
Oh, I'm upside down. All right. Well, that's stupid. The camera's dumb. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, it's all right. Any other corner.
So there you go.
Right there. Perfect. All right. So what's your polygon value?
Polygon, I set back to 100. So like we never touched anything.
Okay. So bump that to like 200.
Okay. Polygon TC 200. Okay. Run it.
And I will show where I left off with mine here. So if I go to the other side here, on the left of my camera is where it started at, and on the right is where it's currently.
See, so I moved the polygon.
Okay.
And now you got that guy.
So that's a much firmer corner.
Yeah, but check this out. So as I go across, though, now I have that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So that is a lot nicer looking corner. So just to show you guys, rounded edge, pretty soft corner. Right.
Okay. So So we need to change your start TC, I believe, because your open corner is on the top left.
Top right now.
Top right.
Because we turned off the flood fill.
All right. So lesson learned: flood fill is is going to
Basically
screw up
runs
everything you change.
Yeah.
Not the way you would expect it. It's probably doing the right thing, but in the wrong way versus what you're expecting. So
My
we
wife
need
tells me the same
to
thing. Yeah.
oof. So we need to reduce your start TC now
Yeah.
because it is far too large.
Got it.
That's what's shooting it out the side for you.
Okay, so my start TC is negative 200.
Mm-hmm.
So laser on TC negative 200.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to do? Negative 500 like yours? Weren't you at negative 5?
I'm at negative 150 right now.
All right, I'm at negative 200. So let's do negative 4.
Wait, no. You got to increase it
Oh, okay.
because you need to bring it to the right because it's so far outside the box to the left, right?
Yep.
So to think of it like an XY axis. So once you pass the Y axis on the X, you're going negative, and when you go to the right, you're going positive. So you gotta go positive.
Yep.
I'm going to run a higher polygon test just for the giggles. So you can see on my screen here, it's starting to kind of fatten out and matchstick in the corner. It's because it's sitting in that corner for too long. Whereas if we go to the last test here, maybe I was a little high even there because it's kind of getting fat. But you can kind of see the step difference of a lot too much, not enough.
All right, so here's bottom right now. Got it?
Yep.
And then now it's actually pulled it back to where I've got a little matchstick all along this side now. So basically I went to positive 100. I went from negative 200 to positive 100.
Okay.
So maybe like 50 instead.
Yeah, cut it back by 50, see if we can get it to land on that contour line.
Got it.
And that's what we're aiming for.
I get what you're saying now. That's cool. So you're just literally trying to get it to match up. So if we're on a Cartesian plane of 0, 0, we're just trying to get it to go to 0, 0.
Exactly.
Exactly. Cartesian planes. Okay. All right. Bottom right corner. Looking pretty good. Oh, very close. That's closer.
So again, too much on that one for polygon for me. Yeah, yours is getting pretty close. Maybe another 50.
Yep.
So polygon too much for me on that one. So I lightened it up by 50. Actually, that was, I think, 100, but
Oh no. So bottom right.
mm-hmm.
And you look. And then out of nowhere now it just shot it. Out of nowhere.
That's odd.
Yeah. Oh, I gave it a 0 value, so let's see what happens if I do this. Okay, bottom right. Oh, so I still have a weird.
All right. So for instances like that, that could be inconsistencies from other things like voltages and stuff. What do the other lines above it look like?
Right there.
All right. So I would bring it down, or I would change it by like another 50. See if we can get it to land on top. The most of them to get land on top of the line.
So, okay.
And then maybe like post stream we can troubleshoot that.
Yeah. So bottom right corner. And these are getting pretty close. But it's like it's shooting back. As you can see on each one, it's like shooting backward.
Yeah.
But it's getting pretty close. Yeah, and when you look at the travel path of the laser,
we're gonna look at that. That could also be like jump value related and other stuff. So
well, let me show you this real quick. So this might be the timing thing too, because like watch. So just to show you guys this, can you click my screen? Click my light burn screen. So you see the travel path of the laser, right? And so literally, like you can see where it's going.
yeah,
it's just like so. You know, there you go. So like if you hit play, right, makes the square. And so it makes sense the reason why I'm getting those whips up and to the right, or up and to the left, rather. So in case people are wondering, like, why is it doing that? So there you go. Just figured I'd show you that.
Yeah. So that might not be a voltage thing. That could get resolved later when we get into the later bits of timing on delay. So not a biggie.
Okay. So what should I do then?
Or jump settings, I mean. Let's not worry about the whip. Let's just get the points of those lines on top of the contour.
Just the nay-nay?
Yes. No whips, just the, whatever that means. But yes.
The nay-nay. I thought you were cool, Kyle. I thought you were cool.
I'm not hip. I might be cool, but I'm not hip. I'm definitely bald, though.
I mean, so is Boyce, so...
I'm definitely not waving my hair back and forth, I can tell you that.
Alright, let's see. So we'll hit frame. Alright, let's do this. So we will go to... Alright, there we go. Got the corner. It. Pretty getting there?
Looks closer. Let's slide back to one of the prior ones a couple ago. And just make sure it is actually shifting.
Okay.
Let me do one of these. So that was like 1 or 2 ago?
Yeah.
All right, if we go to the current.
If you go to the current.
I guess it's closing the gap. What are you at now for start TC?
Negative. We went back into the negatives.
Okay. Negative.
Negative 50.
All right. Try 150. Negative 150.
Okay.
I'm curious if ours are going to end up pretty close on that.
Okay. So bottom right, across. It's like it didn't even move.
I think it's time for you to restart Lightburn.
Okay.
So close and save, and we'll start you a fresh.
Turn off the laser. And now my voice sounds so smooth. Like literally, like I got messages from Miranda and Alex, like your voice sounds crackly. I'm like, yeah, it's because I'm sitting next to a Black Hawk helicopter.
That's
Like
it.
people literally don't understand how loud this thing is. With my headphones, with Kyle in my ear, it's still like, wow.
If anybody, and it's not just these brands, it's all like high wattage RF tubes.
Yeah.
Even moderate wattage RF tubes are kind of loud. But they're multiple decibels at least higher than your loudest fiber laser that you're using. I can guarantee you. So, wear a pair of headphones and listen to some music while you're using these things. Save your ears. Ear protection. I would argue is very important in this case. Alex says they have 800,000 CFM fans in them.
Yep.
I agree. Hey, love, how's it going? Sunday night, what a treat. It's good to have you. Glotzo says, what would be the best 100-watt JPT fiber brand? It's not so much who specifically has the best 100-watt JPT fiber from their brand, because if they build quality Galvo lasers, they can source you a 100-watt JPT fiber and build it to their quality level. So I would just say go to the buying guide. We've worked with those brands. We know what their Galvo quality is like. Their customer service has a long history of doing good things. So, and you can get a 100-watt JPT from any of them. And that list will be expanding. So this is your current one that you just retested?
No, this is so. Let's see, bottom right. Okay. So let's see. That was the one before it. Jeez Louise, look me in the butt.
Earlier, Sargon said, Matt, I missed the beginning. What machine did you start that was loud? Is that a CO2 Galvo? Yes, it is. We both have identical, more or less, machines, and they're loud.
Okay, so there we go.
Paul says hello. Hey, bud. All right, we're shifting in.
So that's negative 75. But then what's weird is like, look at that one. I guess they're actually pretty all lined up.
Yeah. So I'd knock it down to negative 150, negative 200 maybe.
Let's go 200 and see what happens. Why not?
Wait, what did I ignore? I'm confused.
She said OMG and then wait to ignore me.
I know. What did I ignore?
I don't know. Who knows? I was ignoring you, so.
Oh, that's rude.
What'd you say?
That's rude.
Huh?
Rude.
So, did that even move?
It really doesn't look like it. Does it look like it to you? I missed it.
So, there's that.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So that's the one you just did?
So, that's the first one.
Uh-huh.
Second one.
I mean, maybe it did. Yeah. Just, it's so tiny. You did negative...
That was negative
that one?
200. That was negative 200.
Let's do a big jump. Negative 300. Make sure you click OK, and we'll see what it does.
Okay, negative 300.
We want to see a change.
Like Michael Jackson.
Stark says with his Epilogue 48, it feels like a 747. Yeah, that's more or less where ours is at. The only difference is our RF tube is at head height. Yours is in the back of the machine.
All right, so the bottom one
is Matt ignored my message about his audio, not you. Rip.
Bottom one.
Yep.
Is right there.
Okay.
See, so random shit right there, but that's pretty dang close.
It really doesn't feel like it's moving.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's just close Lightburn again. And maybe I need to just break the machine with a bat?
No.
No? Okay.
What's if you go into device settings, what's your NTC at?
$100. Everything was 100, just so you know. My base, everything was 100.
All right, that's fine.
And the first one looked okay for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But was just all rounded off, remember?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's see. We got it set to negative 300 now.
Okay.
Gonna open up reset projects, timing boxes, frame. So let's see. Yep. So still doing that whole like. So two of the same exact runs almost. Yeah, I know, right? Good times.
Interesting. Well, that was negative 300 was it?
Yeah. Yeah, see, like, I'm not sure it's actually moving, like you said. Because I just went from negative 200 or 300 or whatever it was to negative 500. Not even a move. Like, that should have been a significant shift.
I'm sending you a new file in case the test file that you're using is messed up.
Okay.
Do. Go ahead and download that and give that a try for me.
Okie dokie.
So, unfortunately, it's another possibility that the file itself has something saved into it that is messing things up. So, we're going to give that a try and make sure. Vince is suggesting a really high negative value just to see if anything changes. That is totally a thing, but we're seeing that there's really hasn't been a change in like the last 300 range we've changed it. So I'm starting to think something else might be up. Could be wrong. Could be right. Who knows? We're gonna test it.
All right, here we go. Frame. I love lasers. They are so fun. All right. See if I can see the camera. Turn off all these things. Okay. So here we go. Hey. Maybe it wasn't my file.
There you go, bud. It's looking, let me blow you up here. You're looking pretty close.
Like, it's actually almost like over the line a little bit.
Yeah. So part of that could be
that's
first pulse killer. Like we need to enable that potentially. But so basically an RF tube needs to charge. And as it charges and goes beyond, so as basically if an RF tube is expecting to fire right on the line of let's just say the contour, right? As it goes across the line, when it goes to fire that first pulse, it's pre-charging, and when it fires the beam, it's going to kind of blow out or match tip the end of the line a little bit, and then the rest of the line is going to look normal. So first pulse killer kind of fights that. So we may need to mess with that a little bit, and I suspect I need that too. Jimmy says, "Hi all." Palazzo said, "What do you think?" So the UV that they sent over for review, that's been here since August, and I've had no issues with it. It's still, I'm in the process of working on the review for that. The CO2 is the same.
That's pretty spot on, by the way.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on to not end. We're gonna laser off TC, and we're leaving alone. So based off experience with it, it seems okay. That said, I haven't gone through the rest of the machine yet, so I can't really give you a full.
What are you talking about? The UV?
Of it. Yeah. Just the brand in general. It's been great so far in terms of use. Matt also has the same things.
I love it.
He's spoken from Matt's mouth himself.
If we're talking about a moneymaker, it's doing great.
Yeah. So there you go. But
Okay.
if you're looking for like a full-fledged review, it's not done yet. It is coming. So more on that later. All right.
Okay. So I got my laser off TC at 100. What do you want to do?
You need to increase that value because you want to bring it further to the right because you have a gap
so
there. Right?
Let's go 300. Let's go
I need
nuts.
to figure out where mine is.
What do you think? 3 or 4? Let's go 300.
Yeah. Go 300. I need to do that. So I'll loop back to what I was doing before, but I'm going to leave this for now for my start TC. And after I mess with first pulse killer, we'll do that. But there's my gap for my laser off. That's what I need to close, which is...
Oh, that's already way better. Look at that.
Yeah, yours is way better. So you maybe jump it by like another 75.
Oh, I'm going to go up a couple hundred. Let's go nuts.
Oof. Okay. So...
Don't you oof me, boy.
Oof. So I'm going to turn my laser off to... I'm going to follow your lead. 350 from 100. I'm increasing by 250.
1 million.
Yeah, basically. So let's go to laser cam.
Like, I know you were thinking, I know you said oof on increasing it by 200, but look at that.
Big fancy.
It's pretty close.
So this is my recent test. And this is my last test. So let's ballpark it.
I just want to say thank you for saying that might have been a crappy file because holy shit, I can see why someone would lose their mind trying to figure this out when it should just be working.
For real, yeah. So
no clue what was going on with that file.
It's all good. It you know what though? Settings get saved into files and saved as temporary information, right? So if it's just sitting there dogging you, open up another Lightburn and copy like the file contents over to a new instance of Lightburn and create a new file. And that's one thing that Lightburn has that EasyCAD can't mess with because Lightburn can beat circles out of EasyCAD with that one.
Just to show you guys what it should look like. So this is the first one I did. And this is what changing it 250 looks like. And for the past hour, I was doing that and not getting the results I needed. So then Kyle just said, hey, let's change it up. And so then you can see by changing it 200, that's what it did. And then changing it another 50, that's what it did. So my guess is bumping it up another 50 or 75 should do it.
Pump it up. All right, this is our new one. We're almost there. A little bit more. How are we doing tonight, Jimmy? Huh?
I'm just talking to myself.
Talk to me, Matthew. Talk to me, Goose.
What do you think? That looks pretty good.
One sec. A
little bit more?
I would go just a hair, like another 25.
Yeah.
All right, need to bring it in a little bit more. Oh, I'm in the wrong. There we go. So that's the last one I did. Second to last one. And this is the one I just did. I need to increase that a little bit more.
All right, there you go.
That was 550. So again, if you're following along at home, the values we're doing are not really consequential to what you're working on, but seeing the changes that we're making and the effect that it's having kind of gives you an idea of how much you may or may not need to change yours more or less. Your values are going to be completely different than ours. So, yeah,
What do you think?
That makes sense.
Okay.
I think that's solid.
I mean, every one of them looks pretty okay to me. Like, I can see where they end in the, like, 30% into the line. I can see it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You want it ending inside the contour, and you don't want to be able to see the rounded edge outside of that contour line.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right, that's cool. So that's good.
Oh, so close. So close.
Definitely don't have this thing level. Anybody who is going to buy one of these, you need to make sure you have somebody there to help you. That's for sure.
They're heavy. All right, so I'm going to bump it another...
All right, so I'm waiting on you then.
50? Yeah.
Okay.
So...
I bumped mine, like, when you told me to bump it 25, I bumped it 50. So, but, like, don't be afraid to go a little ham.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong going with higher. Worst thing that happens is you need to turn it down or turn it up. I mean,
overshoot.
This is all eyeballing. I'm getting there. I'm almost there.
Yeah, you can see where the end is, like the bulbous end.
So that was an increase of 50. I'm going to give it another 75. See if that closes the gap.
Oh, Miranda said that I ignored her message about audio. Oh, okay. Yeah, Miranda, I have Mamanda, I think is her name, right? Mamanda. You can see it ending. Mamanda.
Yeah, I can still see the edges meeting there.
Yeah. But it's almost like it's like flourishing at the end when it does like its little uptick. I guess people can look at my beautiful face while we wait. Oh, so sorry, everybody. All right, by the way, anybody has questions about anything else while we're sitting here, go for it. Or if you have questions about what exactly we're doing.
Yeah, we're sharing our first experiences to some degree. Yeah, you see, so I kind of overshot that a little bit, and you can kind of see it starting to bulb out on the edge of the contour on the right side.
Yeah. So I think where you had it, maybe like a split difference.
A little bit.
Split difference, yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to look back through and see if there's any questions you didn't hit. Oh, hey, I have a new episode. Matt has a new episode coming out on the channel tomorrow. That's true, dude. It's very exciting. It's about this thing right there. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, so this is acceptable to me. So it's not bubbling out so much.
Yeah, I think it'll wash out it'll figure out in the wash. Oh, HP Design by Anka says I have mail. Okay, I'll check.
You've got mail. All right.
I'm terrible at mailing messages. Like
okay.
I mean, I really am.
So we have an option. Did you finish messing with Polygon, or do we have to loop back to that still?
I think we said we were going to go back to it at the end to see if there needed to be anything, because we'll see. So I'm right there with you.
now's the time. So let's mess with polygon, and then we'll do first pulse killer, or try first pulse killer, and see if it messes with our laser.
Did you do end TC?
No, we're not doing NTC.
All right, leaving NTC alone. Okay, polygon. Oh, that's
polygon.
Jeepers crispy. Okay.
So here, this is my last test that I ran. Nope, that's the wrong corner. So you can kind of see that I'm blown out there, right? So I need to either adjust start TC or adjust first pulse killer. But if I go over here, so the top left corner is a little round for me. So I need to adjust that a bit to kind of hold the laser there in the corner for a moment to actually create an angle, right? So right now my polygon is set to 350. So I'm going to go to 400.
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go big.
All right. So that was my second to last test on the bottom corner, and that is this test that I just did with the adjustment.
Look at that.
So you can kind of see starting to bring that inside edge into a little bit more of an angle. How's yours?
Look at that guy.
You just got to make sure you're not on the starting or ending corner. Oh yeah, yours is looking okay.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, look at that. Look. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Got a little blowout there on the... So what would that be? End TC?
No, you don't want to mess with NTC.
I mean, start like... So I'm blowing out a little on the edges there. So what is that one? We just did it.
Is that your starting side or your ending side? Because yours is backwards to me, I think.
I don't know. I'm just going to get a new card. I confused myself, so it's okay. I have lots of cards. Like, the camera's flipped around. My brain hurts. Here we go.
So I've increased it again just to kind of... Where's the bottom? Okay. So you can see how much more square that corner is compared to the last set I've done.
Okay. So here is my starting corner.
That's a starting corner and a not starting corner.
Pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. But you can see I'm getting some like blowout on the edges there. See that?
Yep. So that blowout, that is your starting edge.
Okay, so I need to take that back a little bit.
Not necessarily, because that could be adjusted by first pulse killer.
Okay, yeah,
so
but look at that. Look at that edge, though.
Your first pulse is going to blow out potentially a little bit on a CO2 Galvo.
Yeah, see, and that right there is what you're saying. Like, look at the end of it. Like how beautiful that is. Ugh.
Yeah, that's what you're going for.
But that corner right there, should I raise my value for the polygon just to make it more square, or is that pretty darn good?
So with CO2, because the dot size is so massive, it's going to look round no matter what. But like here, so let me show you. So this is a value of 500 polygon. This is the highest you can go. So you see how it's kind of bubbly there on the bottom right?
Yeah.
It kind of like blows out and then comes back into a smaller line size.
Well, hold on a second. They can't see it, so let's do that. There you go.
Yeah. So what's happening is the line as it's being drawn is coming across from left to right. It's bubbling out there in the corner because the beam is being held there. And then it's coming up and the line's getting thinner as it goes up. You see? Yep. So this is the polygon being too high. This is as high as it goes. This is 500. So let me go back. This is 400. So you see the bubbling isn't nearly as bad. It's still bubbly, right?
Yep. But just
so I need to
first
decrease
pulse,
it.
Yeah, first pulse will make a big difference. I hope.
Yeah. Clinton said he literally just did this 2 days ago. It's exciting, isn't it?
That's what I just literally said back to him was, yeah, man, exciting stuff. Like, see?
So,
oh, yeah, exciting stuff.
I'm going to do another comparison to show 300. So I showed you 500, 400. Let's go 300 now. That's 300.
Okay.
So, I think my laser, there it goes. So, unfortunately, Clinton said, very exciting, doing full wraps now. Nice.
Oh, very cool.
So, again, unfortunately with the CO2, the dot size is so massive that everything's just going to be very roundy. So you have to just make it the best you can. But
yeah, I think you're zoomed in even closer than I am because I had to do more of like a macro out sweep.
I could. Whoop.
See, and that's where it looks a little better. Looks a little more clean.
Yeah.
But still, you can see it though.
So in this case, this is 300. That's 500. Okay. So it's going to be kind of somewhere in between because this is a little roundy boy. And this is a little too square so much that it's getting bubbly. All right. So I'm probably going to be somewhere in the wrong menu. Probably going to be somewhere in like the 375 range if I had to guess. Now, if you're new to this, or if you want to do it a little more properly, because I'm just kind of going by the seat of my pants on this one. So, like, I'm happy with that. I'm okay with this. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So
real quick, what are your? Let me click on this. Add to stream. What are your values? Yeah.
So these are the ones we're changing right now. So we're skipping NTC. I should have really set this back to 100 to be honest, but
well, I bet you $50 that's what's going on too.
That could be part of it, but it's fine. So this is my starting. This could change once we fine-tune First Pulse Killer. Now again, First Pulse Killer is kind of exclusive to CO2 Galvos for the most part. So, or I should say RF tube CO2s. So this is a little new to me. The concept is understandable, but we have to kind of test it out. So when we get that kind of fine-tuned so that's not match sticking the start of the line, we may have to shift the start TC to actually line up to the contour again.
Yep. So you came up with -150, 760, 300, 375?
Yep, that's where I'm at currently.
Okay, mine, just for people who were interested, is at -500, 650. Hold on, I guess I should.
I switched it.
All right, 1 second. Oh, people can see. Okay, all right. I'm like, so negative. There it is. -500, 650, 100, and 400. So that's actually not too far from each other.
I mean, it's still pretty far though.
In the ballpark, yeah.
So if I plugged in your values, my starting line would be so far to the left of my contour that it would look horrible.
Yep. Okay.
But polygon's pretty close. NTC is irrelevant in our case. We want that just to be low. And laser off TC is not so far off, but far enough off where we would potentially see a difference.
To show people, pull your blue card on real quick. Let's see. So just to see like what our end thing was. So this was my starting corner.
We
right?
can do yeah, here we can do
side by side.
Yeah.
Okay. That was 6. Really. Oh, there you go. So bottom right is the starting.
Mine is I went right past it.
See, that's what happens when you have that tall boy, all that caffeine.
That's my starter right there. So part of that blowout is, again, could be just the lack of first pulse killer being turned on. So we need to fine tune that. But and that you're showing your starting corner.
Yep. So that's my starting corner. And then as I go across, right there. Or this actually, no, yeah, there you go. Would that be the starting corner then, the first pulse killer? Where the blowout is? No.
Well, yeah, where the blowout is where you're gonna see it. It's where the gap used to be that we closed when we did start and end, or start and off.
Oh well, then there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So then it was bottom left for me the whole time. Oh well, whatever.
Well, let me go back.
If you look at it though, it's all good.
All right, whatever.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I'm saying. It's all good. It worked out.
Yeah. I'm getting lost here. Okay. So I still need to fine tune that with first pulse killer on.
Yeah, look how squared off that is. Clear. That's exciting. Look at that. Oh, sexy.
Let me scroll out a little bit. Yeah, there's mine on the ending side.
So that's my starting. That's my ending. I feel like I could put that into a corner. I could square that off. Look at that. That's so square.
Yeah.
Oh, let's put it into a corner.
All right. Okay. So let's start messing with first pulse killer. We're gonna for science it because.
For science, Alex told me this before. You're supposed to start it at like 0.5, and then the increments.
That's the thing. So the values are different in Lightburn because in some cases it doesn't accept fractions of a whole number.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the default value for FPK is 10% on FPK start power and FPA increment. And at least as far as I know, I think it has to be a whole number.
So here it is right here.
I'm gonna leave mine as, yeah.
You want yours on? There you go.
Yeah, sure. So these are the default values. So I'm just going to leave them as default.
Yep.
And see what it does.
Let's go. By the way, May Armstrong got one of these and she had to do hers and she said the exact same thing. She said it was like a night and day difference when she got it all figured out.
It just takes some time.
Because now she can do cups in like a minute.
So you can see I'm still pretty matchstick there. It's like 3 times the width of the normal line. So we definitely want to bump that down, right? So let's cut it in half. Start power at 5. See what that does.
All right, let's see what happens here. Where are you? There you are. So I just turned on mine. First pulse killer.
So you can see it's kind of bringing that line in a little bit. So that was the first one with first pulse killer on. That's the second one with it in half.
So what do you think about that? This is me at 10. What do you think, Kyle?
Can you show me an old one?
Let's see. So, oh shit. I can't remember which one's which. Alright, here we go. Let me do it again. Oh yeah, I can. So this was the original one. Okay. Right? So that's the... right there.
Okay.
That was with first pulse killer off.
Okay.
Then we're going to go across the way here. Yeah, there you go. Definitely made it worse. Put that on. Because you can see it like swooshing. So maybe half, you said?
Yeah, cut it in half.
Yeah.
That's what I did. We're flying by the seat of our pants. So clearly that's too big for me.
So the start power is 5.
I'm going to cut my FPK increment down this time. So again, you have start power and you have increment. So I'm going to cut the increment in half and let's see what kind of effect that has. All right, so that's the most recent one.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Yeah.
Take a look at that. What do you think?
Pretty close.
I left the increment at 10. So I left it just because I figured I'll try it a little different than yours. We'll see how it goes. But then I see that I got a little matchstick right there, or a little dangler.
So what you can do is you can increase your start TC a little bit, like maybe by 35 or 50, and see if it brings all of those into the contour now, because it's not really blowing it out so much. So if I go back to an old one here.
Yeah, it actually messed up the corners.
That's an old. Yeah, this is without FPK on. This is way back in testing, just to get an idea of what it looked like. And that's now. So, still not what we're looking for. So I turned my FPK down to 1. And let's see what kind of change that. Well, it's bringing the matchstick size down, so the line size is narrower at least, so that's good.
Yeah, so this I still have the matchbooks, but it's almost the extra, but it's like exactly the same all the way up and down. That's good.
Yeah. So I would maybe bring it in like another, or you would want to increase it maybe another 30.
My start?
Yeah.
So laser on, TC, increase it by that. Okay.
Ooh, look at mine.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I'm getting to the point where I need to zoom it back in.
I think that looks a little better, right?
Yeah, it's starting to basically get the edge of the bubble from the line inside the contour. I still think you need to increase it a little bit more.
Oh yeah, me too.
But it's
Better,
starting to hide it.
So that was a 50 that I jumped it up. So let me jump it up another 50.
So I'm happy with where the first pulse killer kind of left the size of the line in the bubble from the line starting. Now I need to start increasing mine so that it can start pulling that head of the line into the inside of the contour. So I'm going to increase mine by 50 as well.
That didn't change it at all. Son of a bitch. I'm starting to have that same issue I had before now.
Open another instance of Lightburn, copy the file you have into it, and then close it and use the new one to connect to the laser. I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty nice. I'm not seeing any bubbling out. You think that looks good, Matt?
Yeah, it's pretty solid, dude.
All right. So I'm going to leave mine alone for now. I'm not entirely happy with my polygon, though. I may have to return to that. Yeah, you see how rounded that is? And then... All right. I'm redoing polygon again because I can.
Hey, Quantize or Quantize, not sure how to say it.
Hello. How art
Welcome to
thou?
the show. I think that's getting better. By the way, gonna show this. You can see even more of my beautiful face on the new episode of Laser Everything tomorrow at 9 a.m. It's gonna air, and that's kind of talking about the Rotoboss. I was able to actually go over to the Rotoboss, I guess warehouse / manufacturing center where they make everything. It was really cool. Had a really good time over there, and hopefully it's cool because like the Galvo lasers, a lot of people are starting to do glass on the UVs, and it's really useful. So like I bought a low roller, which is like the Galvo based roller, and I'm really happy with it. Okay, let's go back to this. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got here.
All right. I'm done messing with polygon. I think I'm happy enough with that.
Okay, got movement. That's good. Let me see your polygon. Let me see.
Let's go back.
Show me your polygons. I'm really excited for doing this because it's going to let me do my cups really, really fast.
So that
fine detail.
corner.
Oh, yeah.
So this is my current polygon, right? And then that was blowing it out, so you can see it's kind of fat there in the corner.
Yeah, same as mine right there. That's it.
And then that's really low polygon, so it's really roundy on the inside and the outside. So again, just temper your expectations with CO2 Galvo or any RF tube. Well, no, not any RF tube, but CO2 Galvo. The corners are never going to be as clean as like a fiber or UV. But yeah, your corner looks way nicer than mine. I have to wonder if part of that is.
But look at this real quick.
Maybe your cards are nicer.
So this is 400, negative 400. Then I added, like we said, and now they're actually going out. So I did negative 325. So do I need to go? You mean add as in like increase, like negatively increase it? Am I going the wrong way?
No. So if that's your starting edge, right? If you're moving left outside of the contour, that's a negative value. You need to bring it back toward positive. If you're to the right of the contour on your leading edge right there, you need to bring it negative. So think of it like if you're on an x-axis, going to the left is going down in value, going to the right is going up in value.
Got it.
That's more or less it's a coordinate system. So if your starting edge is, whether it's on the left or the right is irrelevant, but it's hard to tell on your case because yours was backwards for us for a time, but
that's pretty good. I'm gonna be happy with that for now.
Yeah, it's
like
definitely not bad.
Yeah,
like that's acceptable. All right, and you got your first pulse killer tuned already, so you're not all bubbly anymore. That was your old one, right?
Yeah. Trying to look at that. So this is what it was. My goodness. So that's what it was.
Right. So you had little bubblies sticking out of the contour.
And now, way better for the most part.
What was the change that you changed on that? Was it like 50?
No, like 150. So yeah, so okay. maybe I need to do the file again. I don't know. But I mean, I see movement, so I know something's happening.
Yeah. I would say maybe change it another 100.
Okay.
See, just to make sure. We're already here.
This is the laser on TC, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
While you're doing that, got a question. So Quan says, what are your thoughts on 3D JPT 100 watt MOPA laser? I was thinking
I'll take one.
Do you have any videos on a 3D JPT 100 watt MOPA? So we have some videos on a 100 watt MOPA, but it's not 3D. So let me ask you this. Do you have a reason to go 3D? Are you doing if you're doing anything specialty with it, like you need to wrap an edge very specifically, and you're going to be running multiple things. Hold on. I'm not running the laser right now, so it doesn't need to be on. So you guys can hear me more clearly, hopefully. So, yeah. So here's my thing, right? Running a 3D laser, there's nothing wrong with that if you have a reason for it. Even if there's not a reason for it, if it's what you want, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just want you to know that there are downsides that you're going to have to deal with. So if you're going to be doing a lot of one-off items, like if you're running a shop or and you're accepting side like user or customer items to engrave, they're going to be different, right? So you're going to have different shapes, different curvatures, different item sizes that are all going to change. So any 3D dimensional object essentially that you create, so that the software understands where the physical item is, so that the laser knows how to focus to it, that's going to be important. So if you're doing this as a business, you're going to be eating into your business time by designing those files so that your laser understands where it needs to be focusing to mark properly in focus. Yeah. So your worry is that spend the money on a laser and regret not getting the right one. So that's always a concern, right? You need to kind of, it's hard to know what you're going to want to do in like 6 months after you get your first laser, right? Maybe your situation changes or your business goals change or your hobby goals change, but you want to do your best to know what you're getting into if you can. So if you're doing one-off items like that, it's very difficult to utilize a 3D laser in that way, at least as a 3D laser. If you're using it as a 2D laser, because you can do 2D things with a 3D laser, then that's not a concern, right? But you're still also going to be limited in the fact that you're only going to have that 3D software to work with. You're going to be working with probably EasyCAD 3, and that's an additional, cost. You can't just.
It's a pretty recognizable cost too. Like it's not cheap to go up to 3D.
You're talking like several $1,000s potentially in different cost. Yeah. So just the control board cost difference is like over $1,000. So you're talking like, and if you buy it after the fact and want to upgrade it, the control board is like $1,500, including the dongle.
And then the other problem too is you don't have light burn, you don't have support from a lot of people, because there's only a handful of people I know who can sit there and spend hours with you on it, knowing every in and out. So just a thought too. Yeah.
So there's a lot of hoops to jump through when it comes to 3D. So I just want you to know that there are downsides to go with the upsides. Obviously, having a 3D laser gives you some unique things that you can do. You can really engrave really well around curves where you're not really doing project mark. It's project mark-esque, right? But you're telling the software where those points are that you're focusing to. Yeah. So if that's something you're into, or if those are the types of files that you want to be working on, and those are the types of items you want to be working on, have at it. Nothing wrong with that. And that's for any wattage, any type of laser. That's just very specific, a 3D thing that I want anybody getting into that to understand before they make that dive.
All right, take a look real quick.
Show me.
What do you think? So that one guy on the bottom's a little bit wacky, but then the rest are pretty darn good compared to where it was, which was off, 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 and off.
Okay.
So what do you think?
I would say change it another 50 and then call it good.
I have gone down 400 since we started. So if I go anymore, I'll be back to 0.
All right.
But
well,
I mean, we'll see. But this is where let's see. Is that right? Yeah, so that's where it was. See, this is where it's kind of weird.
And you still kind of have bubbles.
Yeah.
That's where it was with the 400 prior?
That's where it was, yeah. And then with the negative 400, I think that was like negative 300 or something. And so now we've gone all the way to here, which this is much cleaner, like all around. So just that one guy. Well, I don't know.
Let's let's just leave it for now.
Yep.
That could also just be a situation of restarting everything, and it might change.
That's also so damn small. Like,
yeah, you're not gonna see that
unless someone's like, "Let me look at this man's work." By the way, let me show real quick. Let me change my camera because I need to look at something first.
Okay.
Like,
I'm gonna.
There. Oh, there you go. Let's do this one. There you go. So to talk to our person in chat here, I just did cups last night, right? So actually, I have one of my crap ones. I think I made like a mess up. There it is. So if you're looking to do, can you make me big, bud?
Yes.
So if you're looking to do like 3D wraps, this is with a 2D laser. So this is with the fiber laser that's right here. That's a 50-watt JPT. I think it was like $4,000 or $4,000 to $5,000. And so that's just a 50-watt JPT. And that's with cylinder correction on light burn. And so it literally had no, that's a 68 millimeter wrap. So, I mean, it's pretty good, right? Like I could have done more. But it's pretty spot on. I made these in 45 seconds, 54 seconds. Sorry, transposition there. But basically that right there, I mean, that's money. Like that guy is money. Now, what Kyle is saying is exactly right. If you had items that were more oddly shaped, or the fact that this pint is tapered, so you can see the taper on it coming down.
Here's another view of a similar curve, right?
Yeah, conical section. And so basically what ends up happening here, just to show you, I'm trying to use my forehead here as a thing, but where it tapers, the one thing you have to take into account is the circumference here is not the same as down here. So you do start to see some curvature. The 3D element is going to be able to make that, you'll be able to play with that better. So if that's what Kyle was saying, if that's what you're buying it for, and that's the thing that you're going to make, and it's a business, then it's super worth it. If this is just not a hobby, but if this is more of like a secondary tool, it's not your primary object you're making, because you're gonna have to do like 3D mapping, you're gonna have to do all kinds of stuff to really get the full benefit of a 3D laser. Alex Campbell is a great person to talk to, probably on Discord. You might be able to ping him. He's got time. He's a busy guy, but
his CO2 Galvo is a massive 180 watt.
It's a monster.
CO2 Galvo that's 3D. And he's spent a lot of time getting that thing fine-tuned and working the way.
He also has a 3D he's got a 3D UV, he's got a 3D CO2, he's got a 3D fiber, and he's got the rotary tables, and it's all EasyCAD 3D,
So why pick a 50 watt over 100 watt? So a lot of people just don't need 100 watt. Think of it this way, right? Price point, granularity and power. So let's say you're working with softer materials or materials that just don't require that much power. You're able to cut that power back. So on a percentage range of like 10% of a 50 watts power is 5 watts. 10% of 100 watt is still 10 watts. That's double. If you go down to 1%, that's half a watt versus a full watt. So power granularity and cost.
So my big thing, just so you know, I bought my CO2 which is back here, just to kind of take a break from staring at fucking cards. So this guy is like my brain's melting. This guy is 150 watt CO2. It's a big boy, and I bought it for cutting because I had a 65 watt before this with a bed half the size. So I literally bought it with the explicit purpose of cutting as its major function. Because again, getting the right tool for the job. When you walk into Lowe's, you can buy a chainsaw, and it can cut through things fine. But a circular saw is what I needed to get that precision cut, and I can also change an angle. You know what I mean? Like it's got a couple of different uses to it. So
Yep.
the problem is it's a really slow engraver for cups. So cups take me 8 minutes, and I started to realize like at the end of every year you should be doing an analysis of what you're making. If this is a business, like I make a lot of money off cups. The problem is a 200 cup order at 6 to 8 minutes per cup, depending on the length. Because like the engraving sometimes are very long engravings, so it's just back and forth, back and forth. And so a cup will take anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes. So 8 times 200 is 1,600. Divide that by 60, and you're looking at a 24-hour job. So that's a full 24 hours of lasering, which is 3 days of 8 hours, right? Versus if I can buy this machine over here. So that's the 24 hours of lasering. And then I just got this guy, and it can do a cup in like 2 minutes. And a fiber can do a cup in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So basically those tools allow me, that's why I bought the 50 watt a year and some change ago. I think it was like a year and a quarter ago. Because it specifically allowed me to have the ability to pump out cups like this guy in 54 seconds. And so last night I made 20 of these in about as many minutes. There was moving the cup back and forth. So maybe 25 minutes, 26 minutes total. So there you go. It's just like Kyle said, having the right tool for the job and knowing what you need. By the way, would I like 100 watt? Sure. Why the hell not? It would make the job probably go even quicker, right? Maybe. But I really don't use the fiber for cutting. I don't really do a lot of deep engrave. I know there's some people who do like 3D STLs and do all kinds of cool stuff like that. But I just don't do a ton of that for money. And I don't really want, I can still do it. It'll just be at the hobby grade,
Yeah.
So there you go.
If like 90% of what you're doing is like cutting harder materials or doing deep engraves, then 100 watt makes sense, right? But if the bulk of your time is spent doing jobs that you're not capped out on power, and even if you're still using a 300 millimeter lens, which requires more power to drive, then having 100 watt over a 50 or 60 watt might not be cost effective.
Yeah, and so what you're saying is I'm not saying 100 watt is overkill at all. I'm just saying it wasn't what I needed. So again, if you went to the store and they've got a 20 horsepower lawnmower because you're going to be mowing acreage, or if they've got the 5 horsepower that can hit a couple of acres pretty quick, I just needed the 5. It'd be awesome if I could afford the 20 and I had that much need for it, but I just didn't need it. So if you've got the money, and like you said, you might get the 50 and be disappointed. So it really is up to you. I know that's it sounds like a cop out, but like, why do you buy the truck you buy? Why do you buy the car you buy? It's just at the end of the day, are you happy with what's in your shop? And if the answer is yes, then awesome. So not the cop out, but I'm going to turn this thing off too, because holy shit.
Yeah. We'll give ourselves a little break to our ears.
Yeah. So yeah, and if you just want to engrave, the cool thing is you could sell a 50 watt very quickly too. Like you can put it right back on the market and sell it yourself used, and it doesn't really take that much of a loss, I don't think, from what I see. And then Josh has some questions, so hopefully that helped you out, man. Let's see. Josh says,
check out the buying guide if you want recommendations.
Yeah, the buying guide. The link is in the description below. You'll see it. It says 2023 buying guide. I have a question, but not sure where to ask it on the Discord channel. I have an M triangle gun S for a good deal.
I don't know what that means. Is that a brand?
The CCAD software. Oh, CCAD. That comes with is that Delta? Yes.
No, CCAD comes with
It's that brand machine. I watched a video about the BJJ CZ board, wondering if that might be able to change it to that board.
You can change it to a BJJCZ board. From what I understand, they're very similar. There are a couple different models of CCAD board. So depending on which model you have, I'm not super familiar with them, so I can't help you with that. But a lot of them are plug and play. You may have to validate which pins go to where, but I've seen a couple of users just unplug the existing cable off of their CCAD board, swap it onto their EasyCAD 2 light board, and it was off to the races with Lightburn.
Oh,
I know nothing about the differences, unfortunately, so knowing the model number won't really help you. But if you compare the two models, they should be pretty close. You may have to repin the connectors, just a forewarning.
Said it has a DPK 21B. Yep.
Yeah.
That help us.
Yeah, I'm so far out of the CCAD world. I don't even know how to help with that one. But
I think Alex even usually says, like, he says a little bit more than that, but not a lot more.
Yeah, no. So my understanding too is the CCAD originated off of a very early version of EasyCAD. So even the instructions that they use are very similar, but they're encrypted completely differently, I guess. I don't know. Not a software guy. But the swap should not be super difficult, and even that downgrade video, the wiring for EasyCAD 2 in that video should at least give you a good direction on that. Hope that helps.
And again, going back to the 50-watt Canon engraved guns, yes.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
You can do stippling on polymer grips and polymer cases. You can do you can actually cut through, like if you were trying to do some type of a
you can do like porting.
Yeah, porting. So there's all kinds of stuff.
I'll tell you this much: if you're doing a lot of cutting and porting, 100-watt would be better. Okay. If you're just doing a lot of generalized work, a 50-watt JPT LP, for example, would give you so much more flexibility, because you can make 100-watt work for a lot of things with a lot of tuning. A 50-watt is going to be easier to work with across the board.
Yep.
As long as you're not specifically cutting or doing a lot of like hard work.
Yep. The other thing is, it's kind of just the industry standard is what I would call a 50-watt JPT, because it gives you the frequency range, like he said. And it's just, most people have one of those. Doesn't mean you have to be most people. But yeah. So, like, I know,
here's an example. Go ahead. I was just going to say, for example, something like a polymer grip, right? If you want to stipple a polymer grip, that's a very soft and gentle pass material. Using something like 100-watt, you would be like going crazy on frequency trying to rein back the power, so that you don't just melt a hole through the thing, right? So something like a 50-watt with a really good frequency range like that would make life super easy on something like that.
Yeah, so 12K budget, you've got a lot of options. And then the video on the mirror wood for pro, wooden cutting, and fiber for engraving. Pretty much.
That's an option. Yeah. I mean, you have so many options to work with. There's hundreds of laser brands, right? So check out the buying guide. If you're doing something for wood, definitely look at CO2. If you're doing cutting on wood, you want a gantry, because the CO2 Galvo is just, if you're doing anything past like really thin cuts, a CO2 Galvo is just going to end up giving you issues. Mm-hmm. And fiber for the metal. Yeah.
Let's see. 2030.
Yep. So we have some more testing to do, Matt.
I don't wanna.
We gotta finish it up. So you remember how we set the jump speed and min and max delay?
Hold on, I have to turn on my Chinook. Let's see. There it goes. Black Hawk down.
We got to rein those values in, right?
Ugh. All right, hold on. Let's see something.
For which CO2? The gantry or the Galvo? The Galvo is like what a fiber, all the fibers we have are, or these CO2s? Or do you mean gantry for like cutting?
What's the model for the CO2? Okay. Let's see. Frame. I'm going to answer the question here. I think he was asking what model for
That's
the CO2.
what I just asked.
Yeah. But I don't, yeah. Oh, that's what you said, gantry of the thing. Okay, duh.
Yeah, gantry or Galvo. I just want to make sure I'm... So these are Galvos. So this has a head on it, and it like projects the beam. Whereas a gantry is like, it rides on a rail, and it can cut. A 30-watt would work. It would just take longer, yeah. I mean, a 30-watt is super versatile, so it's more than enough. For CO2, if you're talking about gantry, like you want to do cutting, Alex did a review on his Aeon Mira. There's a review video up on the channel. I would encourage you to go check that out after the stream. If you're talking about a Galvo, mine and Matt's are from Ocean Laser. Mine was provided for review. Matt bought his. Just full disclosure, we're transparent here.
Yeah, I don't actually work for the channel. I'm just a volunteer who has no life.
You have a life. You're here hanging out with your buddy.
That's true. My life is here.
And then you definitely don't want my CO2 gantry, which is that blue lid back there. I affectionately call it the blue poo. You don't want it. If you're going to go for something a little bit more budget oriented, go with like an OM Tech. It needs a little love, but you save a lot of money. The mirrors are nice. There's a lot of options out there, but check out the buying guide. That's what I'll say.
And if you were wondering what I don't know if you might have been asking what is my model. I have the Boss 2436, 150 watt. It's pretty solid. It comes with a lot of the stuff. The Omtech, like he said, is the budget one. The Mira Pro 9 is very nice, for sure. So there you go. A lot of options.
All right, so let me go back to sharing my screen. So we need text makes this a lot easier. Okay.
Also, telling big facts like that's true.
Yep. So the reason why I'll show you when we engrave it, but it helps show the imperfections as it jumps and moves from letter to letter. So having all of these edges as it goes across the lines is going to make life a lot easier. We're going to be using the same settings as before. We want to make sure flood fill is off and fill all shapes at once is on because we want it to go across the whole
space.
The workspace. Yes. Line by line, not letter by letter. So, and another thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to device settings. Okay. And we're messing with the jump settings up here. So jump speed, it may or may not stay here, but I'm setting it to 7,000 because we're gonna yeet it. All right. And you know what? Even more so, I'm going to set the min and max jump delay to 0 and 0 because I want a worst case scenario. Oh, why is enable rotary on? I fat fingered that one. So let me get the laser cam back up here.
I'm going to get it down to about 20 by 8 again with my words. So we'll keep that same size-ish.
Oh, you can remove the contour. We can just do fill. Forgot to say that. And line interval can be like, I don't know, 0.2. All right, you guys will love this. I can zoom out a lot and show this one.
By the way, I absolutely heard nothing you were telling me to do.
It's okay. So
that looks spot on.
Yeah. So you see how bad that is? It's just filling in where it shouldn't be. Oh, thank you, Quan. It's not much, but thanks for the $10.
Buddy.
No, dude. Hey, every little bit helps. We appreciate you. We're not, any value is more than you had to give, and we appreciate it. So thank you so much for being kind and supporting us.
My real name is Matt too. Oh my god.
Hey. Matt's a good name for cool guys.
Something like that.
So obviously this isn't going to fly, right? Quality wise, this is yucky. So we need to adjust that. So what we're going to do, we need to increase our values. So let me switch back to this. So I'm going to be increasing the min and max values together so that we can get a baseline, and this can be changed later to kind of fine tune for timing. Not timing in the sense of timing in the sense of time spent on a job, because these values in the real world will affect the quantity of time that you're spending on a job. We can also reduce this to something like 4,000, which is much more realistic, and we can realistically go lower than that even. I'm gonna go ahead and get a fresh card, and we're gonna go from there.
Okay, tell me everything you just said. So jump speed.
So set your
3,
jump speed to 4,000.
4,000.
Set it 4. Yeah.
Min max.
Set your. Yeah, so that's a safe value. Go ahead and leave it at 500 on both min and max. Jump distance, we're going to leave at 10. That's normal. I'm going to do the same. 500, 500. I'm going to frame that out on mine. We'll remove that.
Okay, here we go. The size.
Oh, did you need the settings for the layer?
Oh, it is. Okay, near my camera.
No, you marked it. Okay.
I just turned off. All right, what do you think?
I appreciate the fact that all of the lines are, lined up nicely.
Yeah.
You're not blowing out like crazy.
And just to show you guys, like, this is what it looks like. Yeah, that's actually pretty solid, man.
Yeah. So what you can do now is you can drop that down and see if it starts making the lines all gross.
Yeah. Drop it down to, what do you think?
Let me show you mine. Hold on. So you see how mine is kind of like
Oh yeah.
yucky?
Yeah.
So I have to clean that up by increasing my value to a safer number. So essentially what jump delay does, I'm going to focus on Matt's screen here. So if you pause right there, right? So as the lines are going across from left to right, it's going the entire length of the line in this case, and then jumping back to the beginning and doing it again. And essentially what jump delay does is it makes the kind of like what it sounds like. It jumps from the end of the last line to the start of the first line in a diagonal. And as it jumps across, you're jumping at high speed to save time. And the jump delay is what tells the laser how long it pauses before it allows the line to start marking. And the reason why we need that is we need the mirrors to settle so they're not shaking, because it's jumping at such high speed and then stopping at a very specific point. If we let it mark too soon, it's going to start wobbling or making extra lines.
And just to show you, if you ever want to see what your laser is doing, it's right here. This is the jump delay actually happening, right? So that's what he's talking about. It tells it where to start and stop. And as it's going unidirectionally, it literally travels all the way back. And notice how it's doing nothing here. But as it goes forward, it shoots. And so basically, what he's saying is jump delay, the higher it is, the different, or the time changes between it. So it could go like this, or it could go like this slowly, but it's still like fractions of a millimeter of a sec, or of a fractions of a second. So just saying. Boop. And so this is just to show you guys. That was when it was higher. This is when it's lower. So which one are we shooting for? Do we want it to be separated, or do we want it to be all mushed together?
Show me again.
So do we want it to be mushed together like this? Or do we want it to be separated?
Nothing else changed, just the delay?
Yep.
It looks like you turned on more contour.
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I might have had it on and then turned it off. Let's see what happens.
I need to... There we go.
I think I did have mark contour on in the beginning. You're right.
So you can see it here at the bottom of the M. There's a little bit of a blowout there to the left. You see how it's kind of cleaning up the lines now as I bring up the delay. If I go to the left or the right, the A here, this is all kind of blown out and gross. This is starting to fix it a little bit. That kind of tells me I need to increase it a little more even still. Here's the T. The T's looking a lot better, but still needs a little more love. And the reason why this is changing is the distance from one letter to the next. So between the A and the T, and we're marking left to right here, that distance is long enough where it's a higher percentage of that min and that max, and it's capping out. But down here where they're closer together, the jump isn't as big, so it doesn't need to delay it as much. if that makes sense. So we're going to go ahead, and this is why, again, using a series of letters makes it a lot easier to deal with this kind of test. So I'm going to increase by another 100 on my min and my max. And we're going to mark it again.
I'm just over here playing with it to make sure it see nice and easy.
All right, so the A and the T were our problem children there. So that cleaned up nicely for the most part. The T still needs a little more love. And as you can see, the T down here is still a little yucky. S. You can see this S all the way at the top. The first one I did was real gross.
So mine's I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Nice.
What do you think?
What are your letters that you have there to test?
Truth. TRUTH.
How big is it?
20 by 8.
Okay.
I figured we'd just use the same size box as before, so that way we...
Try going wider. Try going like 40 millimeter on that.
40 by 8?
Add a couple more. Add another word to it.
Okay.
Bigger spacing, a little bit taller, if you need to.
Well, this will be fun. Let's do some cursive stuff.
And I'll explain the purpose for my change here too in a minute. So let me zoom out. So I changed my test word to Matt test. Ironically, because Matt's here, but also because
Coincidentally.
yes, but because it's giving you a variety. So if you look from the M over to the A to the T, that's giving you an increased jump size. So it's giving you a variety in testing. And also from this T all the way across to the top of this T. So it's giving you a bigger test range gradient. And then the E and the S and the T down here at the bottom, much closer. So this gives you a really good test sample size for min and max.
So what do you think of this?
You can use anything you want.
So this is where... It's looking pretty good. And this is actually where the two overlap. So this is where the T overlaps the H, or the other T in truth. So take a look. That's pretty slick.
Yeah.
It actually, it's a noticeable gap there. So you do notice it. But, because like this spot right there, see it? That big jump?
Yep.
Like dead center. But then the rest of it, I mean, that's pretty clean, right?
Yeah. I think you're pretty good.
So I don't want those to be any closer together. Now, by the way, for people who have never messed with this before and you're watching it, because I've never done this before, by the way. Like, this is my first time doing it with Kyle's help, so thank you, buddy.
Yeah, of course.
So just to show you guys what it actually looks like, let's see, let's do this. So just to show you what it looks like. Right, so no one would be able to see those gaps. Right? Like, it just looks like something that needs to be cleaned. By the way, I have a painted card. Might be the difference between, are yours anodized or painted?
Anodized.
Yeah, so mine are, these are from, whatchamajig.
These are just super cheap anodized mine. So
Yeah, so these are the super cheap off Amazon painted. So this guy used to sell anodized and then not so much more. So that's what, here, I'm going to make myself big real quick just to show you guys. Because I know like Quantize is there and a couple other people maybe have never seen it. So very smooth looking, right? And then to go back to Kyle, this is what it looks like under the microscope, which is why it's worth spending the $35. So that $5,000 you're not spending on laser, buy the tools to see what you're doing. You know?
Yeah.
So just a thought. But looking at this with the naked eye, it's definitely like looking way better.
I'm going to do another test here. And I cranked the value on my min and my max jump delay so that I could see if I'm leaving anything on the table, and I can tone it back a little.
Should I change my timing just to see what it looks like?
You could if you want to.
Alex told me that we should have tickle on too. But I'm not going to fuck with that tonight.
You want me to tickle you?
No, that is not what I said.
Oh, okay.
I'm sitting here thinking like people start sending us money for like, here's $10 more. Do the tickle.
No. We're not that kind of stream. So
Laser,
you can see
everything
I'm not,
after dark.
Yeah. You can see there's not really a difference here from this. Let me bring it in a little more. From this M down to this M, there's not really a change, right? So I can tell I'm not really leaving anything on the table. The tops of the T's here where I got this nice big gap. And you can tell there's a little something on the second line of that M. It's also still there on this one. So I could try increasing the max because it's that line is actually jumping from the prior all the way over here at the end of this line. So I could try increasing the max, but I don't think that's going to go away. I think that's just the letter. So if it does not change, I can just revert back to my last test settings. How you doing over there?
I gotta go to sleep soon, probably. I have to teach their eyes were watching God in the morning.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a good novel.
Yeah, so I quadrupled my jump delay time, and you can see that bump is still there. So that's just part of the design. So I can tone this back to where I was. I didn't leave anything on the table. I can start knocking it back. Now, the nice part about knocking these values back, right, is that when you reduce the delay, you're saving time on marks.
Bye, Vince.
See you, Vince. Thanks for hanging, bud. So if you want to guarantee delay and you don't want to tune this, you can just put a crazy number here, like 1,000, but you're going to increase the mark of everything that you put a mark on. And this is just letters. This is super simple. It's small. So if you're marking something huge or with a lot of detail or a lot of layers, it's going to take forever if you don't knock this back to something closer to what you need to maintain value, but don't necessarily need that safety room. So I'm going to knock this back to like, call it 750. Make sure that I still get a good quality mark. And there we go. So I could probably even bring it back more than that. Oh. I only did the minimum, not the maximum. Whoops.
So this is only changing the delay. Yeah. Like,
What's up?
Oh, no, I'm just thinking out loud. I was looking at my thing here. This one? There we go. So, like, that's when it was at 3,000. Got a little bit closer here with my scan. That's when it was at 2,000.
Are you talking about the delay time or the speed?
Yeah, just the delay time.
Okay. So you should be able to get down closer to like 500 or maybe a little lower.
Yeah, for sure. That's at 7,000, by the way. You can see a big difference, like, right, like, visible. I just put it at 7,000 for funsies, like you were talking about to see.
I was at 4,000. So that was at 7,000? Damn.
Yeah. I don't know if that actually goes up to 7,000, but it lets you input it. It might have a top out, like you said.
Well, so that's going to change based on Galvo head. So let me show my screen here. So I have 500 for the max delay, jump delay. So here's the other thing. If you want to have a good safe value, you can leave that. And then what you can do is you can start dropping down the min jump delay. So if you really want to fine tune it, knock this down a little bit until you start seeing differences in min. And the nice part is anything over 10 millimeters in jump distance is going to receive that max jump delay value. Anything below that is going to scale it down closer to the minimum jump delay. That's how that works. I'm probably just going to leave it like this because 150, what is that, microseconds per line is not a huge deal to me because I'd rather guarantee quality versus fine-tuning out maybe 8 seconds of runtime on like a multi-minute job. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so I've got 3,000. Is that what you were saying, jump speed? Because that's what I was talking about, jump speed 3,000. So I've got 3,500, 510. What was yours at?
4,500, 510.
Okay. Yeah, so we were pretty close.
Yeah. So I'm going to put in a little bit more of a realistic value. Is probably going to be closer to like, actually, and here's a good way. So if you have a microscope, little added value, right? You can kind of see that there's obviously space between the lines here. So you can actually confirm your dot size based off of how big your line distance is. So if I drop my line distance down to 0.1 from 0.2, and I mark this now, you can see that those lines are much closer to touching now. Right? So you can actually fine tune your dot size and, per material, because CO2 obviously on wood is going to burn out a little bit more. So maybe you want to loosen up the dot size a little bit. But if I drop this down to like 0.08, it's looking a lot nicer.
So what do I need to do to make it look all smooth and sexy like that?
Drop your line distance down, buddy.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was like, I'm so tired. I literally was reading people's comments and then trying to be in like 3 places at once. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, 0.08 is usually what I run mine at. 0.065 and 0.08 on the other CO2.
Bob says budget-friendly fiber laser. Did we cover that yet?
No, I think he was actually saying that to quantize.
Okay.
He said no, because he said they just saved me $5,000, and he's like, oh,
gotcha.
sweet. Let's see. Am I missing something? I was thinking about choosing the 60 watt over the 50 because the 60 can do colors. Oh, did you talk about that? The MOPA?
I did not, but I will.
Yeah, go for it.
The 60 watt is an M7 series source, whereas the 50 watt is a LP series source. And the difference there is the M7 has pulse width unlocked, and that's generally what people will consider as a color marking MOPA laser. Now, you can still do colors with an LP because you have that frequency range, the 50 watt. You just don't get as much control over how the power is absorbed into the metal. And really what you're looking for with color marking is actually, you're kind of heat treating more than you are marking. You're not using that power to ablate the surface when you're color marking. You are very specifically heat treating the surface in order to get a very specific outcome. And to do that, you need to put so much heat into the surface at a very specific interval. So if you want to specifically do color marking, if that's something you're interested in doing, you can still do that with an LP series. So like a normal 50 watt. If you want to do a lot of it and you want a lot of variety, then you would need to go with an M series. So the M series, I believe, comes in 20, 30, 60, 80, 100, 120 watt, et cetera, et cetera. The LPs come in, I think, the same 20, 30, 50. And I think that's where they stop. I don't recall. But I think the 50 is still plenty. 60 is great if you want the MOPA for variety. It's also helpful if you're doing a lot of polymers or plastics, specifically laser safe plastics. So you just got to be careful with that, because obviously some materials are not safe to put under a laser, period. Hope that helps. You just got to decide if that bigger variety in color is worth it to you or not. One little prequel I'll give you to that, or added tip to give you to that, is color marking is more of an art form, less of a science. There are so many variables that the outcomes you get today might be different tomorrow. So be warned on that.
Yeah, like a couple of things as an example would be ambient temperature of the metal, the fact that it's 404 stainless steel versus 428 or whatever it's called. I can't remember the numbers, to be honest. But lots of stuff. The other thing too is like if you're out of focus even a fraction of a millimeter, it'll be one color on one part and then one other shade of that color along its path. This looks like welding, like when they're laying dimes.
Yeah. So you're pretty much spot on your dot size there.
But what's weird is like
a little tight.
I'm gonna say when I zoom out, it's not as clean. You can definitely see the difference when from this to oh, it's pretty good. But you can see the endings, like even not with the naked eye so much, but zoomed in. Again, microscope, worth it. Yeah, that looks a little chunky, a little choppy. It's supposed to be real scrolly looking. But when I look at it with my eyeball, and so this is why it's important to look at stuff under the microscope, but then go back to the eyeball, because like, let me go back out
brings things into perspective.
Yeah, so like just
pixel art and then, scrolling out.
Let's see. We'll zoom in.
There you go.
Right. So a little too zoomed in, but very scrolly down here. Right. So there you go.
Oh, thank you for the notification on the dead lengths. I'll get those looked at. If you want to check those out, you can just head to the light object site for now, and I'll get those updated this week.
Yep, so there you go. So very scrolly, very nice and tight there. But then under the microscope, you think, oh God, oh God, oh God, and then you start to look at it with your eyeball, and you go, oh, okay. You just gotta eyeball it. Okay, sorry, I had to. Yeah, the JPT can definitely do colors. There's a lot of people, like if you join different groups and look around, I don't think it's something we cover so much, but like I don't see a lot of people in our Discord talking about it, but it's in a lot of different groups. It's something people want us to cover a lot, but it's just one of those things where every machine is different. It's a lot. Like I said, it's a lot of art.
There's a lot of variables that it makes it very hard to provide a guide that provides consistent results to everyone. Yeah. So we are working on structuring something together to help out with that.
Like a starter.
Yeah. It's in the works. It's probably not coming tomorrow by any means, but
I will tell you the best thing to do. That's where you can buy sheet metal for practicing. And, oh yeah, good point. Because I'm done for the night. Was it midnight? Oh yeah. Let's see. I feel pretty good. That looks way tighter on everything. So that makes me happy. Let's see. Am I even looking at the right? This is like messing me up so hardcore. Let's see. Settings, mirror my camera. That's the way I should look. There we go. Eyeballs. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider. It's really cool though. Like if you're somebody who's getting it for, like I just saw somebody today in one of the groups had posted like a Bowie knife that had the American flag, red stainless steel and blue. It was cool as shit. I have a friend of mine who uses diode lasers who text messaged me, hey man, you need to make shit like this. And I was like, sure, buy me the laser that can do it. And the MOPA, so while the JPT is possible to do, the MOPA makes it much easier and accessible. Here, let me put you big, bud. So there you go. So that's with the 100 watt or the 60. Stop right there. Right there.
That's with the 60.
Okay, so 60 watt JPT. There you go. Or MOPA.
That's the M7 60 watt. Yeah. So I know it. I know it doesn't really show it, but that is blue and that is red.
Oh no, you
in
see
real
it.
life.
You see it. I do. So,
And
but that's
the
where
lettering is actually purple.
And so that's where you can definitely get that. And the cool thing is, once you find it on your machine, and that's what like so. For example, you've got power, speed, frequency might be the same across most lasers, but then you get into the Q pulse, and the Q pulse could be a difference of like 10 to 20 Q pulse. But if we say between 10 and 50, that gives you a place to start. And I don't know if any of that makes sense to you, but there you go.
So here's a good example, right? Here's the backside of the tag that I ran. This was the first one I showed. Here's the second one. So looks pretty identical, right? Now, if I flip it over, I ran this immediately after I ran the first one.
Oh, but the metal was different temperature.
The metal was a different temperature. So the metal surface being heat treated receives or experiences something very different when it's already warm and to temperature. So you could blow right past that color. So depending on the mass of the metal you're using, the surface temperature, and how long you're marking it will affect the consistency of color. And if you end up with a rainbow across your entire engrave, or color mark, not so much an engrave, versus ending up with a consistent color all the way across, if that's part of your design. So,
oh, hey, there you go, Sargon. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, Sargon. Thank you for the support.
Yeah. And oh, look, now you've changed his mind again.
I actually have a lot of lasers in my shop.
Yeah, if you count behind him, it's like 13.
I have a 60 watt MOPA from Wisely. I have a well, obviously what we were working with tonight was a 60 watt Davi 60 CO2 Galvo from Haocean. I have a 5 watt UV from Haocean. I have a 100 watt JPT MOPA from Lasers Only. I have a 20 watt
EM Smart.
No, it's a com marker B.
Oh, yeah.
B5, B4, B5. I think it's a B5. It's
sunk my battleship.
It's not for sale yet.
Yeah,
it's
pre-market,
pre-production. And actually, I'll probably be doing a video on that at some point because while the internal components are more or less fine, the way they're set up, I'm not happy with, but it's because it's pre-production, I've been told. So I'll probably be showing people how to fix their lasers if they end up buying a less than stellar one and need to fix it themselves.
So let's do this real quick. Let's plug whatever projects we've got coming, plug the channel, and then call it a night at 3 hours because that's a solid 3.
Oh, so and I have a 30 watt Makira.
And by the way, again, I'm going to give you this because Kyle and Alex both received the lasers for no cost, but they're review units. So basically, and they're not entitled to say that they're good, they're bad, everything. And then
we're actually in the process of putting our review agreement that everyone agrees to is going on the website. So for full transparency,
everybody can see what they see.
We will have everything in writing that everyone agrees to when they send us stuff to review.
And then meanwhile, I can say whatever, like anybody can say whatever they want.
I can say what he wants.
Mine,
as well. We can say what we want to.
Cash monies and credit cards. So, yes. But so mine are for, and the thing is, Kyle does a lot of like testing, like really rigorous testing. Like it's ridiculous the amount of pictures I get from him during the day of like, check this out, check this out, check this out, check this out. And I appreciate it because I'm like, ooh, that's cool. But I literally just make shit for money. Like that's me. But Kyle's gonna do that, I think, too. Maybe coming up.
Someday.
Yeah. So
my
anyways,
primary focus is helping people here. But
I was just making sure you guys knew the difference between that too, in case you were wondering.
What you got your most recent project coming up tomorrow, right?
Yes, so for me at 9 a.m. tomorrow, so definitely if you haven't liked and subscribed the channel yet, like and subscribe the channel. I have a video coming out because basically on this laser, I have a Rotoboss rotary that I got in 2019 when the company basically first started. And then it's really cool. Um, he wants our choice on a gantry laser. 2 foot by 3 foot bed with pass through, and I like 100 watts or higher is my answer for you. That's not a model, but 100 watts lets you cut and engrave. If it's got hybrid servo motors, you need a beam combiner. You need a fan or exhaust. It's internal. I'd literally get the Boss 2436 again because now they've got servo motors and everything's badass. So
Yeah.
that's my pick.
If
It's not
if
on the
I was
buying
gonna
guide,
start
but that's
over
my
and-
pick.
Yeah. If I was going to start over and pick, Boss is nice, but I'd probably go Light Object.
Oh, yeah.
OM Tech is great if you need like a really budget option, if you want to invest the time to save the money. Light Object is kind of a happy medium of you have to invest way less time because you're investing a little more money and it's higher quality. Boss, you're
By
investing
the way,
more money, but you should be able to get away with investing less time.
precursor to that, I live 1 hour away from them, so that's another big reason.
Yeah.
I can literally, if something happens, I can pick up parts or I can have them shipped here, and it's usually within a 1 day. And actually, mine is the 2436. They don't even make that anymore. I think it's the 2440. And the 2440 means 2 feet, 24 inches, or 600 millimeters by 900 millimeters, or 3 foot. And the reason I like it, it has pass-throughs. Those red bars are pass-throughs, so it's got 4 direction. And then he said Light Object. What model was it you suggested?
They have a couple. There's the Solo, the Ranger. I forget the next one up from that. I'd probably go with the Ranger these days because I don't really need the depth, and that's deep enough to do like any rotary work on something.
Yeah, mine has 7 inches. In case anybody's wondering, so anything 7 inches is you can fit a lot down there.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
Okay.
So my video tomorrow at 9 a.m. And it's coming out with, like I said, the Rotoboss, the old one. But this is, so we kind of talked in that video about where they came from and where they're going, and basically how the new one. So it's hard to see back here, but I've got a low roller Galvo rotary, and it's awesome. I'm really excited about it. So that's what the video is kind of about. And he's about 3.5 hours away from me, so I drove over to the shop to see what it was about. What do you got coming out, Kyle?
I have a video about doing these. So this is a leatherette wrapped stainless steel tumbler. I have a brown one as well, different style. So this is black and gold. The other one's brown and black.
There you go. That's
so
super good looking.
Leatherette can be challenging for a lot of people, especially when you're doing a project mark style mark, because you can get your settings fine tuned for flat, but then when you start getting out of focus on a bigger lens, it can really start to mess you up. So
light on fire.
Yeah, you can burn a hole right through it. So I have a video coming on that. Brown and black. I'll probably do a future part 2 video for various other colors. I've already started receiving feedback on different color leatherette that people use. So I'm trying to source multiple sources so that I can validate it across different brands.
There you go.
So I validated those with 2 different brands of the same color material above and below. So hopefully that helps people out. And tons of other videos. So.
Yep. So like and subscribe.
Yep.
Thanks
Check
for sticking
out the buying
around.
guide below. I know you guys were looking for suggestions. We have reviews on the channel and the buying guide there to help out. Discord down below, Facebook down below.
And the Laser Master Academy.
Laser Master Academy if you want to support the channel. And sorry,
Thanks.
it's late, guys. We're both tired. We just wanted to come hang out and work on this.
My brain.
Yeah, we just wanted to come hang out, educate ourselves and you at the same time, and hang out. So it was just more about hanging out.
And Josh, thanks for sticking around. If we didn't say your name, thanks for sticking around. You guys have a good night.
And I see Sargon up above. He sent $10 and he's still hanging out, I think. So thank you too, man. Appreciate it. hope you all have a good night. We're going to let Matt go to bed because he's got to be up in like 4.5 hours.
To teach children.
And I need to finish up for the night too. So thanks for hanging. Y'all have a beautiful evening. Take care.